So as you know, we've had the women's NCAA national championship game that was played. LSU defeated Iowa. Caitlin Clark, the great white hope from Iowa, who's been my favorite basketball player the last 2 years. She's one of the most exciting basketball players I've ever seen, male or female. Yes, by far, especially in college. Me and my brother, literally, I remember last year we used to we used to find her games on Fox Sports on the Big Ten Network, and me and my brother literally roll up and watch Caitlin Clark the whole game because she's that exciting to me. We do got, and at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? She's dope, but they lost. She lost. The black girls from LSU, let me get their names because I want to put respect on the winners' names. I don't want to just talk about.
I know Angel Reese. And
Angel Reese.
Camouflage daughter.
I think her name is
Little Camouflage.
Nah. I think Flaujae.
Okay, cut the check. Here we go.
Yeah, Angel Reese. Oh yes, who's the $2? Thank you for real. Since we all black, who's the Akata bullet bags? I don't know who called bullet bags or whatever. But yeah,
that's FBA. They said that. Yeah.
Hey, cut that check. Hey, yeah. But Angel Reese, she balled out. Know what I'm saying? And Flaujae, both of the women balled out. Both of them did their thing. And the problem is that Caitlin Clark, she's cocky. She should be cocky.
Uh-huh.
When they played South Carolina, which is SEC and LSU playing South Carolina and LSU playing the SEC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same conference.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa beat South Carolina. And when they beat South Carolina, they were low-key, I won't call it disrespect. They didn't disrespect South Carolina. It's good gamesmanship, right? South Carolina is not a good shooting team. So Iowa was packing the paint, and even Caitlin Clark waved the person she was guarding off, waved her off, we're not guarding her, let her shoot the ball, right? It's not really disrespectful. It's gamesmanship. It's niggas being cocky and confident in basketball, right? Another time when she scored, she hit the Tony Yayo on her opponents, right? Which is dope. It's fire. If you watch her, you would think you're watching a white Steph Curry, a white woman who's Steph Curry. She will pull up from 36 and banging on niggas. She's very entertaining. A white girl, right? So they played LSU, and Iowa was favored to win, right? LSU beat them niggas by 17 points. And then when it was playing, you seen Angel, Angel was sitting there. Angel Reese was like, hey, this ain't no one-man show. You know what I'm saying? She was walking by Caitlin Clark when the clock was winding down and doing this to Caitlin Clark's face, right? And then she walked by her again and was pointing to her ring finger, like Kobe Bryant did when he won his first championship, right? All this is regular. We see guy athletes, you know what I'm saying? We seen Sean Kemp dunk on a nigga and point his fingers at people. You know what I'm saying? We seen Shaq dunk on somebody and push the guy on the ground. You know what I'm saying? We seen way more. You remember when Richard Sherman knocked the ball from Michael Crabtree and won the game. When Stacey Andrews came to interview Richard Sherman for win the game, he started going off don't ever try me with a star receiver like Crabtree. Just do everything in your life. Who thought I'd ride on me? Crabtree, mediocre receiver like that. But see, when men do it, it's oh yeah, that's hype. That's masculinity. You know what I'm saying? That's vigor.
Men do it with other black men.
It don't matter. What does that matter? You're not playing a black only sport. You're playing a sport where the best of the best, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whoever the cream rises to the crop, right? So that's what you had. You had LSU versus Iowa. Iowa lost. LSU start talking that shit, selling out because they're the winners. They're national champs. But what happened was when Caitlin Clark was doing the Tony Yayo and waving girls off and doing the too small, they were like, oh, she's sassy. Oh, it's empowering. Oh, yeah, she's cooking. But when the black girls did it back to her when they lost, Keith Olbermann called her a fucking idiot. Dave, what was his name? Fauntleroy, he went off on her saying stuff. You had a lot of people of the dominant white society chastising these black women for, high stepping and trouting and, showboating about their win. And the problem about it is why when the white girl did it, it was women's empowerment. It was dope. She was feisty. She's fiery. But when the black girls do it, it's no class. It's ghetto. And not only that, the black athletes, Angel and Flaujae, they call that shit out. They're like, yo, we may not fit the narrative. We may be wearing, our 30-inch sweet Brazilian bust down with the lashes and the nails. But guess what? We put buckets up on these hoes. We may not fit the little, cool little white girl narrative. We might not be singing Taylor Swift before pregame. We rap and set it off by Bootsy. It's us. It's our culture. It's what we do. And they came out and put that smackdown on them hoes. It is what it is. I like Iowa. I told you, I watched Caitlin Clark for years. I knew more about Iowa and Caitlin Clark than I did about LSU. And I wasn't rooting for either or. I wasn't like, okay, the black team, so I'm rooting for the black team, white team. I told you, I'm a fan of Caitlin Clark. I was just watching a great game. LSU ended up winning. And then you had First Lady Joe Biden talking about, I want to invite Iowa to the White House. Never in the history of pro sports has a loser of a championship game been invited to the White House. But since the predominantly white team lost against the black team, now we want to invite the losers to the White House. No. And Angel Reese and the rest of the team was like declined. They're like, we're not even going to do it. Fuck the White House. We're gonna go to the Obamas. You know what I'm saying? And my bottom line, and also, before we get to the Gilly situation, my bottom line is this. We have to celebrate a lot of these young girls coming to the game. Like the chick Flo J, like her dad was camouflage. She passed. She is a rapper. She was on that one hip hop show. She got what was like the gold mic, or she got like whatever. I think she's on America's Got Talent, but like she, you know what I'm saying? Like they approved her on that shit. She got NIL deals for college, so she's getting money. We have to salute the immensely talented females who come out here and they're not trying to be cookie cutter. They're not trying to fit into the box. They're going to come out. They're going to have their tats. They're going to have their hair done, their lashes on, their nails on. They can get the job done. And I think we need to celebrate LSU basketball team for putting that smack down on Iowa as they should, and celebrate Caitlin Clark for being a good sportsman. When they came at her, tried to bait her into the topic, she was like, yo, they deserve to do that. They deserve to celebrate. They won. We're competitors. This is sports. You know what I'm saying? Behind the scenes, Angel met Caitlin Clark behind the scenes, was hyped to meet her. Like a lot of times, because you have a lot of race play in sports and symbolism, niggas don't know how to act. And what really happened was white people lost and it got out of pocket because this was still a race game to blacks and whites.
Something in there.
You can always throw something in there, J-Dub. Even if it's bullshit.
Everything you said was right. And maybe what I am finna say is some bullshit. But this is how I think. If we think the treatment is unfair, if we think the criticism is unfair, then it's still our fault because we should have the Negro Leagues. We should be hyping up HBCUs and we should be building as a community. To me, you know what I mean? We shouldn't even be playing in their sports. It always should be race. It should be a HBCU versus whatever, what do you call it? PWI?
Private white institutions?
Yeah, predominantly white institution. It should be versus that.
Why though?
Because black people, we need to get our own institutions, man. We sitting here arguing over this mess. Oh, they call her this because we not in our home. When we're not in our home.
What do you mean not in our home? Bro, listen, and why do we always want to say we should do something with HBCUs when HBCUs are known for mishandling funds?
We should do something. I mean, I'm saying we need to get the right black people in place. I know I'm wilding. I say it might be some bullshit. But some people feel what I'm saying. We need to get the right people in place like iCube, the big three, and start owning our own shit to where they don't care about what we're doing.
This is how I feel, right? I hear you. And anytime, you're never wrong when you tell black people to own their own stuff. So by default, you're right. You feel me? But I feel like that argument is way far off from the discussion. Because as a black athlete, right? Blue chip black athlete, I'm going to go to LSU before I go to Jackson State. They got better facilities, better exposure, better competition play. Like these systems and structures have been set in place a long time before a lot of these players came. So at the end of the day, it's all about black empowerment. We should do HBCUs versus this, but at the end of the day, dog, like these athletes are going to come in for a couple years and then they're going to dip. They're coming to get the bag. They're not coming to empower a school that they're only going to be at for 4 years. That mismanaged funds well before these players. It's not the athletes' responsibility to change the course of these educational institutions that's been in place for over hundreds of years. So I hear you, and I do agree that black people should have their own.
This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying we should have our own, but I'm saying we shouldn't expect. You know what I mean? We should expect white people to get a little frustrated when we come in and win like that. We should expect that.
Which we did, but even when they were trying to say they hit the John Cena, we were like, no, that's the Tony Yayo. That's what we're talking about. Like y'all try to whitewash everything. Like y'all trying to make it seem like these girls, like y'all trying to make it seem like the same thing these girls did was wrong when the Tony Yayo was a black thing, when the waving off, like the thing Caitlin Clark was doing was inspired by black athletes, but it was cool. When when the black girls do the exact same thing that the black athletes actually originated, how are the black girl being punished by replicating her own racist gestures in competition, but the white girl is fiery for appropriating the same thing black people just did?
And I feel you, and you right, and I am I can't talk, but
Parallel.
yeah, but listen,
You're trying to
I
find the parallel.
always
Yeah.
want to take the opportunity to remind black people, yo, y'all had the Negro leagues. Y'all had control where y'all could be making decisions on who do what, who could do this, who could do that on the court. We let it go. We gave the control to white people. So anytime we complain about how white people running shit, or how white people calling Caitlyn a queen and all that when she doing a yayo dance, and they call her sassy and this and that, we don't control that narrative because we don't own nothing. You know what I mean? That's just all I'm saying. And even with the Jill Biden thing, white people want their people to win. They don't, I mean, they know niggas, because listen, they know niggas so athletic. That shit don't even oppress white people. They don't more. They're like, yo, you almost beat the niggas, so come to the White House too. Why? Because that's not the front of their list. They're not oppressed about us shooting the ball. That's
But
not
see,
impressive.
but see,
Let's get to the business.
but see, that's
Let's
the
get to the
antithesis.
money.
But see, that's the antithesis of black people's resentment in the same space as white people, because a white person can actually fail up. A white person can have a mediocre to a failing record and still get promoted, as a black man can have 5 winning seasons and still lose his job. The black athletes have to overachieve, and still you want to put the white person that lost in the same seat as the black person, and you wonder why you have race resentment. See, white people want to do stupid shit and then they don't know what the fuck going on. That's the problem with the liberals. You want to do stupid stuff like undermine a whole athletic program and reward just because the white people lost, and it like just like the stories of black valedictorians, and you want to put a white girl who didn't make the same GPA as a co-valedictorian, and you wonder why black people have issues with white people. Black people make their stats every year at their job. Every quarter they make their stats. They're the best salesperson, they're number one on their floor, and then they get passed over for a white person who shows up late, drunk, late on perks, always has an excuse why they can't get the job done. They're going to promote them, and they're going to make you train that person knowing that you're more qualified than them. That's the whole point. When your parents and our parents told us that we had to do twice as hard to work to get half the credit, that's what I'm talking about. And even though I hear what you're saying, that's the issue with black people and white people a lot of times, where you have liberal rights that want to soft shoe and put in their people when they haven't even met the expectation that you set. You set the expectations. The white person that you expect to meet him didn't. The black person you didn't expect to meet him, but you put him in here just to make some numbers, actually met him. Now you want to lower the bar without acknowledging the black person who actually set the bar. We got to lower it for, and not only are we going to lower it for the whites, we're going to exclude the blacks out of it completely, just like they did with a horse jockey. You know, horse racing. Did you know that it was exclusively black jockeys who used to do horse racing?
Man, black people used to have their own NASCAR.
Yeah.
We gave it all up. And then we want to complain. This is what I'm saying. In the case of the girl, they all did an amazing job.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like black people should have their own. And I feel like this whole madness is be over FBA not getting patted on the back for winning the game by white people. And that's what we really mad about. Let's just keep it a buck. White people didn't pat us on the back for winning, and now we mad.
Nah, it's not. No. That's not what it is. Niggas ain't even mad. White people are the ones who are angry. And all black people are doing is holding up a mirror to them and saying, you did it first and you said it was cool till the black people did it. Now it's a problem. Now all these white people are backtracking, sidestepping, making apology tours, doing impromptu podcasts where they're trying to clean up and talk their chicken jive so they don't lose all their black friends for exposing their racism that you thought were there. All the liberals are getting out of pocket because of this. What this is showing is exposure of white fragility. This is not a black problem. This is not a black issue. This is white people having a problem with getting shown up by uppity Negroes. Go ahead, J. Doug. If you want to segue into
Yeah, we get it to Gillian Wallow. You have black people at the highest echelons of each sector of life. So save the wine for the dining. Okay. Okay, that must be somebody white. and I don't know if you right or not, but you I mean, I don't know every sector. I don't know if we got every sector. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. Fuck them. Yeah, because you don't make the rules. You don't say what is what. See, online complaining from a group of black people is nothing. See, that just happened. They just cut it out altogether. But that don't really move the needle. We not in the room where they make decisions. We gave the decision making up for online complaining. That's what I just want to remind black people. We could be saying who do what. And we know if black people made a decision, we have pit bulls on the court. Y'all niggas be gambling in the corner. We know we'll turn it up. Cause how we run shit. We know how we'll have it lit. Yes, but I know that. But still, we don't make that decision.
We don't make what decision? To
eat nothing. So if we say, yo, you know what I mean? If they say it was good for when the white girl did it, it was good for when the white girl did it. If it wasn't good for when the black girl did it, it's what it is.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No,
Why
it's not.
We don't run nothing.
It don't matter. But guess what? You know what we ran? That motherfucking basketball game in that national championship. We ran that. It was nothing white people can do to stop that.
No.
Yo, Great White Hope got outbeat, got outclassed, got outshot.
But I didn't know what people care about women basketball like this. But
well, it was lit
to the women.
It was lit. It broke a lot.
Nobody talk about the men. The men.
Nobody cares.
Men? Why not?
UConn won. They beat think Arizona State because the female basketball game, the female college basketball tournament was way more entertaining than the men, to be honest. And plus, this year in the men's region, like all the big schools lost, so it's and a lot of people's brackets got busted, so it took a lot of the interest out. And San Diego State lost, yeah.
And why they mad that they can't come to that? Jill Biden want both to come to the White House
because
when black people didn't even want to come to the White House when Trump was in there. So either you care about coming to the White House or you don't.
No, they care when
why you didn't come when Trump wanted you to come?
No, you can't say that about these girls because these girls weren't even at that school when Trump was in office.
I'm just talking about black people in general. But
you got
team turning it down.
Yeah, because Trump ostracized the black community.
He was like,
people.
Come to the Trump never ostracized.
Listen, bro. Trump did a lot of things to alienate a lot of black athletes. Like when he called NFL people sons of bitches for kneeling and all that stuff. Like Trump did I'm gonna give Trump credit for not knowing how to ingratiate himself with the athletes. It is what it is. Or when you had Clemson football team come there and you had a whole bunch of fast food items for him.
Oh yeah, he had burgers and shit.
Bullshit. Nobody wanted to come to that. So Trump did himself no favors.
Oh, yeah. Trump did. But still.
That's all I'm saying. And then when you want to say it, it's like this, bro. Like I said before, there in the history of professional sports in the presidency of the United States, there has never been a loser of a championship that has ever graced the stage at the White House. They only allow winners. But the one time the predominantly white teams loses to the black athletes, you want to invite both. That's racism. That's racism.
They don't respect
That's racism. That's racism.
Was a smoke signal.
So it's racism
from
right?
the Democrats.
Okay, so but what you're saying is
that's who black people love.
But I'm saying that was blatant racism, right?
No such thing as racism, but that was a sign of no love for you.
Which is all right. So Gilly,